Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to discuss Negan and future storylines that could present themselves for his character.
Yes, guys. So the Walking Dead Season 10 finale will be later this year. It could be coming back quite, I wouldn't say early, but there have been rumors that Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 might be starting in August. So
I thought that was confirmed.
I haven't seen it fully confirmed
yet. I was fairly certain
yet.
that was confirmed.
I haven't seen it fully confirmed yet, okay. But if Fear the Walking Dead's coming out in August, you would have to think the Season 10 finale is going to go before that, and then the Walking Dead World Beyond is going to maybe go before that. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Either way, we're hoping to get Negan Vs Beta. We know that we've mentioned this before in other videos. This is straight from the comics as well. There is a cool battle between Negan and Beta, where in the comics, Negan gets Lucille back. They fight. Negan breaks Lucille, but it's really cool. They have to show this in the finale.
Absolutely.
They're gonna have to
and whether they include Lucille in that or not is beside the point. I think they're saving that Lucille return moment for another date, for another episode.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's in everyone's mind. If you're a Negan fan, it's in everyone's mind. Like, where is the original Lucille? But I definitely want to see Negan and Beta battle it out on the battlefield, like actually on the battlefield, with everyone else around them going at it, and here's Negan and Beta just in the middle of all of it.
Like the signature movies where everyone's fighting around, but the two people are in the middle, and no one's touching them because those two are going to have a battle.
Exactly.
What would really be cool is like maybe Negan versus Beta versus Daryl. Like Negan and Daryl teaming up together to fight Beta. I could
totally see that because Beta could easily overpower one of them.
Yeah, he could be like, boom.
And then the other one has to jump in and help. So that'd be totally like, I'm talking like a Darth Maul type, two people fighting this character.
See, he brings up Star Wars just out of the blue.
Didn't they fight him at once?
Yeah. They have to do it. I mean, it's something that I think I saw an article, Jeffrey Dean Morgan mentioned it, that he said there's going to be big stuff coming in the finale, and he was kind of asked, like, do you think there will be a Negan vs. Beta? And he basically says, I hope so. I hope that we can. Now, you would think he's already filmed it.
Which he probably has,
but he's not going to say anything. Yeah. But I think it would be really awesome for the fans to see. Now, the one thing that we don't know is where this battle is going to take place. We know that they're trying to get out of the hospital. Us being comic book readers would love the battle to be in Alexandria, but maybe it won't be. You've mentioned you want to see an open field. Yeah. That could be cool too. Yeah. And then with Maggie gets involved, who knows what's going to happen? Because in the comics, they led the entire horde away to Oceanside, and they dumped the majority of them in the ocean, which was really cool. Yeah. But I don't know if they're going to do that. But I think that would be really cool, and we have to see something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be done.
I wish it was in Alexandria, but we've lost hope on that. I mean, they're not going to return to Alexandria after dumping it, and it just doesn't make sense. I really don't want to see it go down the final battle
at night.
And at the hospital. Like, I just don't want to see that.
Yeah, and we have another video talking about, some comments that the executive producer said about the finale, and I think it's going to gear towards more getting out of the hospital.
How can you get out? They're completely surrounded. Like,
the back door.
I don't know if they're surrounded, but they're at the gates. They're at the front door of the hospital. So, I mean, I would think, from a strategy standpoint, that Beta would probably surround the hospital if he could.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, we saw the massive horde coming onto the front door of the hospital, but we don't know what Beta and other Whisperers wrapping around. But you would assume they're completely surrounded.
But we get sidetracked really easy.
I know.
This is a Negan video.
Well, Negan and Beta.
With the question of, are we going to get a Beta and Negan battle, kind of leads us into another topic is, after the Whisperer War, Negan's character is somewhat done in the comic books, other than an iconic scene between him and Maggie that we've already gotten on the show.
Yeah, so it was a few issues after the Whisperer War. After a major comic book death, Negan is allowed his freedom. And he goes off on his own, and they do a single issue of him, issue 174, Solitary Life, which was awesome. And in that, we see Negan gardening, having a nice life. He has that little house that he goes back to. I think that's his original house. Isn't that his original
I don't
house?
think it's his original
Maybe not.
house.
One that he took over.
But
he builds Lucille 2.0.
He tries to go back to old Negan.
He does.
And you're thinking, as you're flipping the pages and reading this, you're like, he's going back. He's going full out old Negan, and you get excited, and then it changes.
It changes. That was the part where in the comics Maggie finds him, and we already got that scene from season 9, episode 5, where Negan is begging for his life, and Maggie's almost going to kill him. That happens in the comic books. Then after that, in the comics, Negan's story is done.
Not just begging. He begs.
He begs Maggie to kill him.
Yes.
Sorry, I mispronounced that, but. Yep. Yeah, after that, guys, Negan's story is done. We see a silhouette of him in the final issue of The Walking Dead, but nothing else. We just know that he's alive. So, what's left for Negan after the Whisperer War? I mean, it's basically all going to be new storylines with him having a relationship with Judith and, getting back with our group. They can do a lot more with. They could do a lot more with Negan. They definitely could, but for us being comic book readers, we're trying to think. Basically, after season 10. And if they roll in the Whisper War into season 11 a little bit, his story's done.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with the Commonwealth. He's not around. He's gone. So
yeah, I think a lot of it depends on what changes, in the landscape of the show itself. Like, as far as other characters. Mm-hmm. We've discussed in a previous video about Daryl Dixon having a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Michonne's already gone. So, if there's a possibility of Norman Reedus being out of the show and it's left with Jeffrey Dean Morgan kind of being left, as far as that star power, that and Maggie, or not Maggie. Well, yeah, Maggie.
Yeah, Lauren Cohen, yeah.
I mean,
it could work.
Actually saying Maggie is, how do you have Maggie returning?
Yeah.
And Negan being the central figure in Alexandria?
That'd be tough. That's
tough. Like, I literally just thought about after saying Maggie. That's tough, guys.
Yeah. Because, I mean, one thing I think that we both would want is a spin-off movie of Negan. Basically, here's Negan, his real origin story before he became...
Or a miniseries.
The man. Or even a miniseries, correct. I mean, that would be cool, but... Negan as the lead?
I don't see it simply because of the Maggie factor.
Not just that, I don't think fans would like it. There's still fans that don't like him.
There's a lot of Glenn fans that don't like him, obviously.
There's a lot of fans that don't like Negan, but I mean, his future stories, guys, I mean, it's hard to say right now, but they could do something. I mean, of course, we're not writers, so our minds aren't in writing mode, but I'm sure these amazing writers could think of a good story for Negan going forward, depending on how long maybe Jeffrey D. Morgan wants to stay aboard.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm sure Jeffrey D. Morgan knows his comic book storyline is coming to an end. I'm sure he already knows that. So what can maybe JDM influence to say, how about we take my story in this direction for a little bit?
I definitely think if they do something different with Negan, it's outside of the realm of the survivors. Yeah. He's not going to be in Alexandria Hilltop or whatever, Oceanside. I think it's going to be him going off on his own and maybe leaving the show from there.
Yeah, it'd be tough to see, but it's kind of we're kind of expecting it almost.
It's just that Maggie factor, man.
Right, Maggie
doesn't make sense.
No.
Her coming back, if she was still gone, absolutely. I think there would be a lot of story left for Negan. But like with her there, man, just not going to work.
It's not really going to work. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to think of maybe some storylines they could do for Negan down the road. But we're just kind of spitballing and wanting to get information from you guys of what you might think a good story for Negan going forward would be, and also let any of you guys that don't read the comics know that, his storyline's pretty much done after this. And it's sad to say, we love Negan, we love Jeffrey D. Morgan, but for them to do some miniseries with him, like an origin story, or because you got to think, the time that before the apocalypse, all the way up to where we are now.
A lot of time.
There's a lot of time and little stories in between that they could do. Now, would fans like to see him back in the day as Negan? Like a little miniseries on that?
I would.
I could. Yeah.
I would.
Before he met Rick and before all that, I think that would definitely work.
For me, as a fan of the comic book, Rick, Negan. Yeah. Those were my two favorite characters.
We would definitely love to see it.
Like early Negan and post Negan, I loved them both.
I would like to see like how he gathered the saviors, like how he found the sanctuary.
We've talked about this before. It's different in the source material than the show. Like in the show, and I've said this. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but like. You could make an argument in the show that Rick was a good guy, and that Rick, did I say Rick is a good guy?
Rick, yeah.
I'm sorry, Negan is a good guy, and Rick started all of that all-out war nonsense. In the source material, it's quite different.
Yeah, it is.
Very different. This dude comes on the scene, immediately kills someone for no freaking reason, and just uses his power.
Yeah, it's very different, which is cool. I mean, we love the the differences and everything. But I mean, we're hoping that we get the Negan vs Beta fight. We gotta get something cool within the season 10 finale. It's gotta be epic. What can Negan do in the season 11? Could he be part of the Commonwealth storyline? Is he just gonna be back at Hilltop or Alexandria, or maybe go on his own for a little bit until they come up with something that they could use for Negan? Or maybe this might be the end of Jeffrey D. Morgan and Negan in the main series, but maybe in the universe they could do something else.
Yeah, maybe he goes to find Rick.
Maybe he goes and finds Rick. I did see an article about maybe Negan needs to end up in the Rick movies. Maybe he needs to be in there. I don't know.
It didn't their relationship didn't blossom like it did in the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics, hey, I could make that argument.
Dude, imagine like a big CRM battle, Negan there, Rick is like coming out of the gates or whatever, and Negan is just standing there like, hey buddy, like, we found you.
Yeah.
With Daryl and Michonne behind him. Like
I mean, look, Negan could, tell Rick, I believe in your way. I've followed your path since you've been gone.
Yep.
You've shown me what it's like to build this life again, to build this world again. So it could work. I just, man.
And he says, and your daughter is a total badass. So, let us know what you think, guys, of the Negan Beta fight that we should hopefully be getting in the Season 10 finale. And what other future storylines do you think Negan can have? Or is this the end? So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified, smash the like button, follow us on social media. Stay tuned for more. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.